social media acts as like a proof of legitimacy. So it's like, okay, well, they're obviously on this page, they're taking clients regularly, they're posting regularly. This is present day. It's almost like a personality test a little bit. Welcome to the Expansion Code Bridal Edition, the show for bridal hairstylists, makeup artists, beauty pros, and yes, even brides who want the behind the veil scoop. I'm your host, Heather Dick, bridal business coach, salon owner, and ringmaster of a 50-person squad that styles hundreds of weddings every year. Around here, we go beyond the hairspray. Thanks scaling your business, setting boundaries, surviving high-pressure moments, and creating client experiences that everyone raves about. So whether you're building your bridal empire or planning your big day, grab a coffee or champagne, and let's talk business, beauty, and a whole lot of bridal. Welcome back to the Expansion Code with Heather Dick. That's me. I'm just going to preface this episode with, it's been a little challenging to sit down to record this. Prior to this episode, my dad called me in a panic, looking for dog food for their very sick dog. He's driving around aimlessly looking for a vet he doesn't know the name of. So I helped him for about 15 minutes. And then I tried to record this episode before this, and I could hear little skittering. And I think we've got a mouse in our basement. So I'm just going to power forward here on this episode because this topic is relevant. It's happening to me, my business, and I think it's going to make you feel a lot more seen. So I want to talk to you about how clients are choosing their service provider. This isn't going to be relevant to every single business out there because there are businesses that just no matter what are going to be referral based or not even really social media based, like a dentist, a doctor. Unless this doctor's got really A-game social media, I'm not choosing my doctor via Instagram posts. But what you would choose, your esthetician maybe, your nail tech, your bridal hair and makeup artist. And I want to talk about how we can kind of navigate this really apparent shift that's happened over the past few years and without feeling like you're a failure and you're old and whatever, because I'm 40 and I have evolved with the social media game for sure. There was a time where I'm like, I don't know how to do this. I don't want to do it. I have a media team and now I've just embraced it because it's part of the business. And I actually just had Jody Brown, marketing guru, love her, teach a seminar to my team on social media. And she said something that was so good. Listen, I know you don't want to do it, but it's part of the game now. So either you accept it or you fizzle out. And that's just the truth. Either you pivot or you don't. And look at all the businesses during COVID. If they didn't pivot and figure out a way to make money, they went down. So let's figure out a way that feels good for you. Now I'm going to share my personal experience with it because I'm certainly no social media guru, but I do feel like I've got a pretty good grasp on marketing my company and myself. So I'm going to take you back to 2007 when I first started. I was begging for business, begging. People didn't want to get their makeup done. It just was not something that an everyday person hired out, even for their wedding. Celebrities would get it done. That's it. And when I first started working for Estee Lauder, I was genuinely had to convince people to sit down and get their makeup done. And it was just like a fun thing for them. Fast forward 7 years when I really got into social media in about 2013 or 14, I was a late adopter. That's when we started to see the tutorials getting really popular and everyday people were doing tutorials on Instagram. And so it wasn't just the really standout professionals in the industry. We were starting to see more regular people. And I would still say though, at that time, social media would be a support system for clients, but that's not how they would choose their artist. Okay. Now people are choosing solely based on their social media. How do we balance this out? And I know that you're panicking. I know lots of artists are panicking because they're like, I don't want to bring a tripod. I don't want to bring all this crazy lighting. I don't want to have to split edit, blah, 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 all of this stuff. And it doesn't have to be as hard as it is. I think we create a lot of friction because things are new and they're challenging and we're old. I'm using air quotes, but it doesn't have to be like that. And honestly, the seminar that I took with Jody, I mean, it was great. And I also have embodied this because I do the dumb stuff on social media. That's me, but you don't have to. Before you'd see your business growing through referrals. So whether that's planner referral, which we still get, obviously, a friend of a friend, past bridesmaid, that kind of thing, your website, SEO is huge. Now, brides are stalking your Instagram first. They wanna feel who you are, and they're that like, know, and trust is really coming to play. Because let's face it, especially as a bridal hair and makeup artist, man, there are lots of us out there. Not in comparison to our population, obviously, but in comparison to the amount of weddings that we have in our city, in your city, chances are pretty good you've got some steep competition. So how do you stand out without dancing and lip syncing and being not authentic, you know? Here's my theory on why brides are starting to go to social media, other than it's just trendy and everyone's on it and they scroll it for hours out of the day. Weddings have become so much more of a to do. And you've got the Pinterest bride, and everything is so aesthetically pleasing, and they want that perfect wedding, and they're overwhelmed. If they don't have a planner, their decision fatigue is intense. So social media acts as like it's a proof of legitimacy. So it's like, okay, well, they're obviously on this page. They're taking clients regularly. They're posting regularly. This is present day. It's almost like a personality test a little bit, although you can kind of like go back and forth on this. Jody will tell you that you can be present while still remaining private. And I also agree with that. But you can also get that social proof, right? So, social proof means you can get your reviews posted on there, your online portfolio. You can do behind the scenes, just kind of silly things that you do on a regular basis, cleaning brushes. There's just a lot of things. But what social media does now is it answers those questions that brides have, that anxious society that we have nowadays. Can I trust you? Do I like you? And do you feel professional? Because before with a referral, they just trusted their friend and was like, "Oh my gosh, you should use Heather. She was incredible on my wedding day." And they're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I'll check her out." Now they go and check me out on my personal page, my business page, my whatever, right? They need that extra solidity. Listen, I also have a love-hate relationship with social media. I don't think it's the be all end all. I don't think that you have to solely rely on it in order to build your business. Is it a great free tool? Yeah. Should you be using it? 100%. But there's a lot of things behind the scenes that you could be working on as well to kind of support that system. But I understand why you hate it. You're a makeup artist, you're a hairstylist, you're behind the chair, you're an esthetician, whatever. When you got into this business 10 years ago, you weren't like, "Oh my god, wow, I can't wait to do nails and post on social media." You're like, "I can't wait to do hair and make brides feel amazing and be one with the bridal party and dance and sing with them." That's what you thought. I totally, totally get it. We all do. You're not broken, okay? You're not the only one that feels that way. So I'm with you, okay? And if there's anything that I've learned in the courses I've taken with Jody, my past with Blush, and my experience with Blush is you don't need to be viral or trendy or do the latest trend. Because listen, Blush has had multiple viral posts. That didn't mean that we had $30,000 deposited in our account that day. We didn't even really see an uptick in freaking bookings. So if you're only getting 500 views on your post, that's a lot, first of all. If you have 500 people in your house, you'd be freaking. If you're only getting that, but your books are full, who cares? I think that there's a balance to be struck. What I do know is that we need consistency. We need a little bit of clarity on your ideal client. If we're kind of posting unicorn hair and we're posting behind the scenes and we're posting blondes and we're posting brides and we're posting our kids, it gets a little muddy. And you just need to do something that feels aligned with you. You don't need to be dancing. Oh, I love to dance. And I love to sing. What I'm noticing with our brides, because Blush, my business, I say this with a humble heart, has an incredible reputation. I mean, I've worked really hard on that since 2007. So we still have brides. I mean, it's January 30th today. And since January 1st, we've had 105 brides inquire with us, and we've had about 50 quotes converted. That's an incredible conversion rate for a company like us. And there's still people that are deciding, right? But a 50% conversion rate at this moment is incredible for a large company. A solo artist, you should have a little bit higher. I'm going to get into that in a different, I'm digressing. But what I was going to say is Blush has this great reputation. So brides are already coming to us just knowing they want to book Blush. It doesn't matter. They're not necessarily booking on our social media, they're booking on our reputation. But what is happening is our brides will say, okay, I want to book for September 12th. I have 5 hair, 5 makeup. Who do you have available? And then we send them their social media page and they're choosing based on that. So Blush is getting them 70% there. And then I need my artists to back it up. Whereas before, you guys, that never happened, ever. They would just book. They didn't care who their artist was. They didn't care what their name was, what their background was. They didn't care. And they care now. Quick pause because I have to brag on my first business baby, Blush Artistry. If you know me, you know that Blush isn't just work, it is love. And we are talking hair, makeup, skin treatments, private personal training, the full beauty experience inside and out that makes you feel like the main character, whether it's your wedding day, a birthday, or just because you love taking care of yourself. My team, they are absolute pros. They've got the talent, the heart, and the hype to make you feel amazing. That's why Blush is the go-to beauty squad in Western Canada. Can I get an amen? So if you're ready for a little glow up moment, head to blush-artistry.ca or catch us on Instagram at blushartistrymua. All right, let's get back to the show. So now we're having to shift doing this seminar with Jody. These girls were like begging for the replay. Like it was so valuable. If you guys are listening and you want to talk to Jody, do it. Clients have changed and we need to change with them. And so that's what I'm noticing in my business is, especially if you have a team, they want to know who their makeup artist is and they need it to be consistent. And if you don't adapt, you might book, but it's going to be slower. These are things that I'm assuming, but I'm going to probably be right. You're going to potentially rely heavier on discounts or underpricing. So you're going to get the brides that are like, "Oh, well, you're too expensive. Would you do it for 120?" And if you become desperate enough, you might have to say yes. And that sucks because I mean, I don't know you, whoever's listening, but I hope that you know your value and you don't have to do that. But your work will potentially get overlooked, even if it is amazing. Here are the things that I've noticed since my girls, since we took this seminar on Monday, it's Friday. We're getting an insane uptick in specific requests and artists. Hey, I would like to have Michelle for my hairstylist. I need another artist for this, whatever. Incredible. And you guys, very, very rarely can you make a change and see results within 5 days. Think about going to the gym. You're like, oh, I'm going to start going to the gym. You don't have abs in 5 days? Come on. That's an incredible result. You attract the ideal client that you want. And that is something that I notice, especially with my team. I've had a couple artists say, like, I don't want to do these kind of people. Well, if you're not posting what you want and you aren't asking for the business that you're hoping to have, girl, you are going to get that full glam client if you want to do natural or whatever. You're doing yourself a favor if you post what you want to get, who you want to attract. Also, what I've noticed is that trust is there already. So if people are like, oh my God, I can't wait to have Michelle as my hairstylist, they're not looking at the price tag anymore. They just want her. And that's a really nice place to be. So I love that for Michelle. Social media, then it becomes, if you do adapt, it becomes a great tool in your toolkit instead of something that you're like, it's like daunting in the back of your head. And you're like, oh, I don't know if I really want to do this, but it's not your whole personality because let's be honest, you can schedule reels. You can do it so you're not even, you can batch. You can do all of these things that make your life easier. I'm not necessarily here to tell you how to change your social media game. I'm just saying what I'm noticing in clients. But I will give you a little bit of strategy, okay? Because this is what I have noticed. I keep saying that. It's true. I've noticed it. Here's a middle ground, okay? The girls on my team that I'm seeing are getting results or being present about 3 times a week, maybe more, but that's a good amount. I can hear the mouse right now, and I can't tell if it's my cat or the mouse. Gosh, it's distracting. You do need branding. So who are you? Who do you represent? What do you like? And your branding, that's a whole other episode, but I'll just give you like a breakdown. If you were to describe yourself in 3 words, what would it be? So mine would be fun, knowledgeable, and professional. Does your page say that? Does my page say that? It didn't actually up until a few months ago. I had people giving me the feedback that my coaching page was like super polished, super bougie. They're like, "Why don't you drive a Mercedes? Why don't you post?" And I was like, "Oh my God, I would never post my car. That sounds so pretentious." And they're like, "Well, that's kind of what your page is giving." And I was like, "Oh my God, that's not me though." So my branding was not aligned. And having a couple strong pillars, the courses I've taken in the past are call them pillars of influence. So, what do you want to attract? Do you want to be known for your education? Do you want to be known for your glam waves? Do you want to be known for your glowy, dewy makeup look? Understand your pillars and then hit those every single time you post one of your pillars and create some sort of system that works for you. So, what I've started to discover is I have a social media manager for Blush and for my coaching page. But I do feel like you lose your voice a little bit if you just solely rely on a media manager, potentially. Like, that's not everyone. I'm sure not everyone feels that way. So, what I do on my coaching page is I will do my own posts 2 times a week, but I schedule them. And I have a running tally of ideas that I just keep in my phone. So, like, if I'm working out, I'm like, oh man, that's a good idea. I should talk about that on my page. Oh man, when this happened, this is how I dealt with it. So then I just keep this running list and then throw it into chat and say, hey, here's my list. Pop me out 5 captions or 5 hooks or whatever, right? Bob's your uncle. Because I'll be honest with you, this is not going to be something that goes away. Social media is not something that goes away. It is something that's sticking around, especially in the bridal industry. And let's be honest, it is kind of how people are booking now. So use it as a support system. And if you have a combination of the two, if you have it as like, I've got a lot of referrals and here's my not great, but like consistent social media page. I mean, that's just a recipe for success. And if you don't like doing the face to camera stuff, which I know like 95% of people don't, one thing that Jody put in our seminar that I loved is do a voiceover because people can still hear your personality, but you don't have to do the face to camera thing. So that was great advice from Jody that we took in our seminar on Monday. Now, if you're someone like me, I was born to be in front of the camera. So I love it. And it doesn't scare me. I've been doing it since I was little, but I realize that I'm not the everyone. If you're not pivoting in business, you're not going to last probably because especially in an industry like the beauty industry where age, and I'm not saying I agree with this, okay? It's just a fact. If you are a more mature makeup artist, and we're all aging, you're all going to get there, and you're not current, girl, you're not going to stay in the business if you want to. So it's pretty important that and it also shows passion. I just cut myself off, but it shows that you still love your business. It shows that you love your clients and it shows that you want to show up. And I think that's one thing that I noticed with my team is that these girls have so much passion and they absolutely love their clients and their pages just didn't show it. So how do you do that? Brainstorm a little bit on that. That's what I had to do. How do I show that I want to be doing this? And then just try it out. And also, here's another little thing that I realized. People don't care that much about your content in the sense that if you feel like it's not absolutely perfect, just post it anyways because people are seeing it for like 1 to 3 seconds. Very rarely do they watch the whole 7 to 10 second reel, which is shocking. I know, but that's just the way the world works now. So don't be so hard on yourself. And if it doesn't go well, if a post doesn't go well and you only get 5 likes, who cares? Who cares? I'm here to tell you it doesn't matter. You're doing it. You're moving forward. You're going forward with your goal and your vision and I'm here to support you. And also as a fellow social media hater and I do feel like it is potentially the demise of the world if used incorrectly. I'm here to tell you it can be a great tool for your business. And my dear friend, Rebecca Taylor, who I met at our retreat in Italy that I talked about in the last episode, she said, are you consuming or are you creating? Because that's how you get drained from social media. And I was like, oh my God, it's so true. Am I picking up my phone to scroll funny dog videos and golf videos? Or am I picking up my phone to use this as the free tool that it is to build my business? I'm going to leave you with that. I love y'all. You're doing a great job. I know you are. I know it's tough. It's hard. Building your clientele is tough. Take it from me. I'm starting a new business right now. Hit me in the DMs if you feel the same. I hope to see you on the next episode. Have an awesome day. Thank you so much for tuning into the Expansion Code Bridal Edition, your VIP access to a booked out, balanced, and thriving bridal business. If you loved today's episode, hit subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a fellow beauty pro. For more tips and behind the scenes magic, hang out with me on Instagram at IamHeatherDick or visit theexpansioncode.ca. Until next time, keep slaying those styles, leading with confidence, and remember, every detail counts, and so do you. Another little disclaimer, while I love sharing advice and business wisdom, I am not your lawyer, I am not your accountant, and I am not your fairy godmother. If you do want to be best friends, though, you can hit me up. Everything on this podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only, so no lawsuits, okay?